Welcome back to another episode of Triad Expeditions. And in this episode, we are going to talk about everything ZipD. Okay. For those of you who do not know, ZipD is a U.S. manufacturer that has been around for quite a long time, since the 50s, I believe. I'm going to put those stats up there and also give you where they're located and just general information, how many employees and stuff. As I talk about their products, I'll just have that information on the screen for you to see as we fact check all of that. But let's talk about the chairs for a second, and then we'll talk about some of the other items. So these are the ZipD folding chairs that we have here. We have one for my wife Crissi and myself, and then this is the folding table. All right. These chairs and table do allow for you to order a bag for them and will match the material. This material is Sunbrella, which is also made in the United States. That material also matches our awning. So as you can see, that is a ZipD awning. It is also the Tillman shade. And a lot of folks don't know that each series of Air.stream, whether it be the Flying Cloud or the International, the Globetrotter, or the Classic, they all have their own design and color configuration of Sunbrella material that ZipD utilizes. So a little bit of history that we have with these chairs and kind of why we were motivated to give you a video about them as our review. First off, there's not very many videos out there, so I think it is important for us to do a quick review of these chairs. We were initially introduced to these chairs that said ZipD on there, the logo, when we were down in Florida. And we had actually asked our friends, oh, ZipD, and they had no clue of really what they were, other than that they had bought them a very, very, very long time ago, over 20 years ago, and they were still utilizing them. And one of their complaints, though, even though they had held up so well over the years, I mean, really, they look like they were a couple years old as far as how things generally hold up these days. They complain about them being comfortable. So let's talk about that real quick, because really you're wanting a review of these chairs, and then we'll get into some of the other issues. But let me just say right off the bat, we're very happy with our purchase. These chairs are not for everybody, and I'll explain why. There's a bar right here that if you have a particular body type, this may not be the best chair for you, because it is going to hit your leg here. But if you normally sit and your particular body type is more allowing for your feet to hit the ground and support the weight of your legs and not your thigh to be hitting this bar, they're very comfortable. And comfort is a subjective trait, right? And not everybody feels, certain pair of jeans are comfortable. Other people like them or prefer them, or a car seat, a mattress. That'd be probably one of the best. Some people prefer them to be firm or soft. Same thing with chairs. These are definitely not what you would call a high-tech chair by any means. And so, you're going to want to think about that. Don't buy them necessarily just because they match your Air.stream. But if it seems like kind of what I explained, and it's just a little insight that I have as far as maybe why some folks don't like them, I do. I think they're very comfortable. And so it just depends on your body type. But keep in mind, different people, different visitors, guests, may not be the chair for them. Maybe some other Yeti chair or something made in China might be the better choice. We had some really nice chairs that we had purchased while we were overlanders, and we still have them. They've held up great, and that's what we're using before. But they had poles, they had the bungees, and you had to break them down. And when we got to camp, we would break the bags out and we would put all the frame together because they were ultra compact, and we really didn't need them to be ultra compact with this because we have more room and we're not overlanding. It would take a good 5 to 10 minutes to set the chairs up in the table. I'm going to show you how these fold down and how we actually put them away. And one of the other aspects, I know I'm jumping all over the place, but that's okay because there's a lot of information I want to put out to you as quickly as possible, is that we would leave our other chairs out, our other expensive chairs out overnight, and I would tuck them underneath the Airstream here, because at night you just don't know, especially in Florida, there might be a storm that rolls through and you don't want your chairs flying all over the place or maybe hitting or falling over and hitting the side of the Airstream. So none of that is a good thing, or they might even get stolen, especially if they're a little bit better quality than your normal Walmart chair or something that you've invested in because you want the comfort or you want the reliability, or that they're not going to tear or wear out in a couple of years, which most do. So we would leave those out, and that's not a good thing. These, you don't have to do that, and I'm going to show you why. All right. So first off, this is the Teardown. That's it. All right, so we're done tearing it down, and then I'm going to come over here and I'll show you. Here's the bag that they go in. Couldn't be any easier. Obviously, you're going to stow them wherever you want to stow them. Here's the small bag with the logo on there. I wish they would have put, I talked to the owner of the company actually, because of a separate issue, but one of the things I did mention to him, in case he is watching this video, and I'd mentioned it to him at the time, now the explanation I got was they don't put it on the big bag because the bag is so, the bag is so big that the logo would get lost on the bag. Not really, I don't really think that's a legitimate reason not to put the logo on the bag, but you know, hey, that's their reasoning and they're the manufacturer. So now let's break down. You've seen how the chair broke down. Super easy. Now I'm not as good as it with this yet, but this is how the table breaks down. Super easy. Made in USA, stamped on here. Zip D here in the wood. Some people may think, well, that's gonna, you know, you're gonna take care of that pretty good. Just normal wax, normal auto wax on this metal here, and furniture polish. That's it. I mean, it really is not that big of a deal. So when it comes to like stowing this, just to further demonstrate just how easy all of this is, this goes in here like that, and then this little flap goes over, and then you're gonna basically just stick it in your bag. And just so you know, the folding chair bag, that is an option that it's a separate item actually. It's not an option. It's a separate item on their on Zip D Outdoors website. It will hold one bag, will hold both chairs, the folding table, and its bag all together, no issues whatsoever. And then they have these nice carrying handles. But you know, here's the beauty of it is that they're gonna live in there at night, and they're gonna stay out of the weather. Animals aren't gonna be messing with them. That's another thing. And you know, it's just gonna be a real quick setup and a real quick teardown. So let me show you real quick. A lot of folks, I had this the other day. So this is the Zip D brand here. They've been making the awnings all around Airstreams for many, many years. It's been the company. But recently, I did see a post where somebody had left their awning out, and we were just talking to folks, in fact, yesterday at the pool about this, and they had left their awning out, and a quick storm had come along and had broke their awning. It had basically broken half right here in the middle. They thought that the fabric was still good, so they were going to salvage that, but it's an expensive fix, but they're going to have to get that fixed. And these aren't cheap. This is the electric version. I think theirs was the manual version. But if you sorry about the background noise, if you are leaving your Airstream, if you're leaving your RV, and you're not going to be within running distance and be there in a couple minutes, put your awning away. You got to do it, because it's going to break if not. I mean, if you get a storm that rolls in and a heavy downpour. People were criticizing the Zip D awning, saying that maybe Coleman would have been a better choice for Airstream to go with. I totally disagree, but that's their opinion. You want this to break in the middle. because you don't want it to tear away the rivets on Airstream itself. So I'm defending the Zip D product when I say that, and so that's something to keep in mind. Now, we recently bought the solar shade, and I'll maybe show you that later. But the solar shade basically puts in up here, and there's different buttons that the pull away buttons, and it goes up here across, so that way it really will protect you from the sun during the day. At least it takes a lot of the direct sunlight, as far as the heat of the sun, off of you, and that's why they call it a solar shade, because you can still look through it. So we'll set that up later and show you that as well, just so you'll be able to see that. We'll get in here in the compartment. I decided to keep it here in the side because it doesn't take up much space, and I think really just keeping it in the original plastic bag that it comes in is going to work just fine. So that's what I'm going to do. You know, obviously the plastic bag might suffer one of these days where I need to buy something else or buy a separate bag. Actually, the folding chair bag would be a really good place to probably sew this. So maybe I'll purchase one of those to put that in there. So yeah, but you do need to have a step stool unless you want to lower your awning on each side to reach up, which to me, I think just like a little step stool is the way that I've decided to go. So let's go ahead and show you how that gets put up. And you can anchor this to the ground. It does come with some, unfortunately made in China stakes, with some strings that you can anchor it down. Now these go from the top and roll down, and they're called Pull the Dot. It's a product that's been around probably since the early 1900s. It's a pretty common device for attaching things. So they actually go from the top and roll down, and then to take them off, you're gonna roll them upwards. So, and there's not very many of them, so it's not gonna. In fact, you could probably put your chair here between the two and save you a little bit of time of moving your stool. I got one more to go, and we decided, I think the East Coast Streamers, I think is their name, their YouTube channel, so check them out. They had made it clear that the best way to do this was to kind of justify it away from your door there. And this is the 10-foot version. Don't take my word for that, but make sure they're two different sizes, so make sure to order the correct size for your awning. If you have like a 25-footer, this is a 23-foot Globetrotter. If you have like a 25-footer, 27-footer, even a 30 or 33, your awning's going to be longer, most likely, so make sure to order the correct size. But yeah, that'll keep you know, some of the heat off of us. Also, some of the heat off of the Airstream, and that's going to keep your Airstream cooler, and your AC won't have to work as hard during the day as well. So, all right. Well, I hope that you like this video, me explaining Zip D products and the quality of them, and the fact that they're made in the USA, and the chairs. I mean, a lot of folks don't know about them. We didn't until we just happened to run across them. But look around for a little bit on eBay and whatnot. There's people selling them that are 20-some years old. They really will last you a lifetime if you take care of them, just like an Airstream. So yeah, all right. Well, thanks for watching. Look for more future videos that we're going to have coming out about our Airstream and some of the modifications we've done. And make sure to subscribe and like this video if you enjoyed it. Thank you.